Aha, connection. Didn't think I was going to get one there. Hi folks, Dr. Rowe here. Just a very quick message. I shall sit down here. Nice view, eh? So very quickly, and it is a quick one, had several phone calls in the last couple of days from letting agents, for those of you that are property investors. And if you haven't done this, you might want to check up with your agents, pretty much proactively saying, look, we want to get out and initiate some viewings. And two things have been happening. One is viewings for any properties where we may have a few rooms empty, or we've got a couple. I think there's one with students that have yet taken the house, so there was a bit of a pause. So we just said, let's carry on viewing. So that's the one thing. And then also just wanting to get back into properties and check them out, actually, which was great. So that's a little thing I wanted to share with you, that if you've got a portfolio already, there's maybe two things to consider. One is what properties that you have that have been during lockdown, maybe been empty, or possibly the tenants have moved out, gone back home, maybe still taking on the tenancy, but just not necessarily there. Obviously, you'll need to, if it's still under the tenancy agreement, abide by the terms of the tenancy agreement, which is normally a 24-hour. But that's something you can talk to the agent about. I would certainly, if there's been any, because with properties, as you probably know, with mortgages, etc., and insurance, if a property is left empty for more than 30 days, again, depends on the term in the agreement. Normally, they're a bit funny about that. Now, of course, with COVID, everything's taken a slight change, but I think it's worth checking, because properties left unattended, not lived in, even if they're still there, but they've left for a period, particularly in this country, damp is an issue. Heating being left on, possibly hot, cold spots, house not breathing, anything like that. I think it's worth getting it checked, particularly if they're not planning to come back yet for weeks or even a month or so. So I think that's something to consider now that the agents are open and more prepared to do so. We're certainly getting proactive requests, so that's great. So I just wanted to let you know, if you haven't heard from your agents, I would certainly pick up the phone and give them a shout and find out what the current status is after the last announcement we had from the government. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I've had a few people inquire with me about Wales. Now, a lot of people I know have gone out and bought properties in South Wales. I probably still have, I don't know exactly, but maybe about half a dozen, 10 properties between myself and partnership there. And those properties themselves are subject to a different set of rules. So in Wales at the moment, social distancing is the same, but they are not allowed out in the same way that we're allowed out. So here in England, we now can go to public spaces. There is relaxed rules now on viewings, letting agents and estate agents, actually, not in South Wales. In South Wales, they can't go out into the public space, as far as I understand. They're still fairly housebound, and so we tried to initiate a couple of calls because we need some work done on a few properties, and unfortunately, we couldn't do it. So whereas can activate certain things here, so having a few properties checked out, do we need the work? There's one with a boiler that we had a question mark over. Can't do that in South Wales, unfortunately, at the moment. So be mindful of that if you have got a portfolio or building properties over there. And with viewings as well, so agents are now opening up and being more relaxed, so that means that they're open to going. Obviously, you need to get consent if there's tenants there, or if you're looking to do a sale of a property that you own, then you've got to find out if there's somebody in that property at the moment. Are they okay for the agent to come around? Social distancing, all those rules still apply. We are using videos a lot, and we have been, actually. So we've let properties out, we've done video viewings, we've had agents that have been prepared to go out and do that. That's worth considering as well. It does seem to work very well, actually, if you get a good quality video of the property, as long as they hold the camera well and pan it round and give a sense of the space side of the property. That really carries a lot of weight. So you might want to have, and I know several people now that have had success with it that I've suggested it to, so that's worth looking at. And then the other thing, of course, is I would definitely check in on if anyone's taken out any, and again, I can't give you financial advice on this, but if you've taken out mortgage holidays, it was typically, when it kicked off, was March, April, May, in some cases April, May, June. So you're either potentially coming up to the end of the holiday going into June, or it might be that your last holiday is June but then July it kicks back in again. So if you try anything like that at all with mortgage holidays, I would certainly just make sure you understand what the next step is. Will the payment be the same as before, or will it be adjusted according to the amount that you haven't paid? How have they requested that you do it? Also, double check that it hasn't come onto your credit file and you have any problems there, because some people I've become aware of have had a few challenges with mortgage applications they've been going through, and now it's been found out they've taken a mortgage holiday and it's kind of affected that process. Now, strictly speaking, it shouldn't, because I believe the Council of Mortgage Lenders has said and asked the lenders not to take that into consideration. It should be, it should be independent. But I would certainly check your credit file, make sure nothing's been affected and inadvertently fallen onto there. Same thing with credit card holidays. Some credit card companies are sending out automatic mail that says, you've defaulted on your payment. And in fact, you haven't, but it's still come out. And then they might send you a text to say, ignore anything that we've sent you. My suggestion on it is, from my experience with these things, is just double check with your credit file. Go to checkmyfile.com, go to Experian, Equifax, or whoever your credit card is with, and just double check that to make sure that you are in a good place and that nothing's been affected. Certainly, we're still in a semi-lockdown situation. Whether they're prepared to extend any holidays, I don't know. I haven't looked into that myself yet, but that's certainly worth looking into. But all I would say is just be prepared for this next phase as we start to, in theory, come back out of it. And, if you've got any property, start thinking about how you can actively, or you've got rooms that are empty, how you can actively start to look at promoting them. There is a formal document that you as a landlord should have issued to properties, particularly with HMOs where you've got tenants in there. I can't remember what it's called, but if you go and have a look online, if anybody desperately needs to know, you could reach out, drop me a message. I'm sure we can put it here as a link. But otherwise, it's a PDF document. It basically it spells out the rules for how they should operate inside of a HMO from a social distancing perspective, but also if there's any concerns about not being able to pay the rent, vice versa, for you as a landlord, gives you some advice there as well. So I think that's worth checking, that document, but also it should really be issued to the tenants as well, if you still have your tenants in your properties. Okay, that's it. There was something else I wanted to talk to you about. It's to do with our podcast, actually, some really exciting stuff coming up, but I'll that separately. Hope you're all well. Have an amazing weekend. Spend some time, if you can, reflecting and maybe connecting with your family. I think it's always difficult. We try and do it on a Sunday. Our family, we internet here, unfortunately. I've got 4G, so it's a bit in and out at the moment. But if you get a chance this weekend, maybe. I'm in the middle of writing my Dr. Rose Recipe for Success book with the 52 weeks of ingredients, 260 ingredients. So it's quite nice for me because I've been going back over some of the things that I encourage people to do and that we do. And one of the things this weekend is connecting with the family. So we're going to do got family overseas as well, a global connection on Zoom or whatever it is. So maybe you could do something special like that this weekend. All right, take care. Have an amazing weekend.